Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we have Tanner in the audience right now, going to be sharing with us his knowledge on the blockchain and what he is creating and a little background story of him. Tanner, thank you for coming. Share with us a little bit who you are. How do you feel today? How's your day been so far?
It's been good, man. I appreciate you for having us on, taking time out of your day to let's talk a little bit about what we got going on and what's going on in the blockchain.
Absolutely. I appreciate it a lot. And thank you for taking your time and joining us as well. So, share with us a little bit who you are and what you do in the life. If I remember correctly, you're studying right now. And if I'm not mistaken, you're also playing football, you said before.
Yeah. So right now, I guess my real life is I train pretty much full time for football. I play at a Division 1 level, which if you're familiar with, how like in the United States, it's pretty much like the top level you can play at a collegiate level. So. Um, it's a really good school. It's Villanova University. I'll be an incoming freshman getting down there this in about a month and a half or 2 months. So that's kind of what I do in my personal life.
Wow, that's cool. And how long do you play already the football? If I'm not mistaken, you said you're the quarterback here, right?
Yep, yeah. I play quarterback, and I've played probably literally since four. I used to play flag. I was really
Wow.
young playing flag because my dad was the coach, so I played flag, and I have two older brothers that I played with that. I actually have five brothers or four brothers, five boys total. So we all played football, and that's kind of how we were brought up. We started from a young age. We all played pretty much all the way up through high school. I'm the first one to play. Well, my older brother did play in college, but he stopped playing just to kind of work. So I'm the first one to really continue to play at the next level.
Wow, that's cool. I really like this culture because I'm from the Europe. We actually play different kind of football. We call it soccer.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't have like a rugby one, and that's actually super cool. I'd love to try to play, but isn't it like a little dangerous to play? Don't you harm yourself while
Uh,
you're in the process?
I mean, you can, yeah. I would say, if you're familiar with rugby is a lot worse. Rugby is there's no pads or anything like that. Football, you give a lot of protection with gear,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it almost can be used as a weapon, make things more violent. But I mean, yeah, there's always that risk of injury, but I feel like there's risk of injury in every sport. I mean, it's definitely more prominent in football, but um, my love for the game, and I'm not the person that's really scared to get hurt. If you're scared to get hurt, you more than likely will get hurt.
Yeah,
So
just do
that's
whatever
just
it
the way it
takes,
works.
right?
Yeah.
I feel you. All right, so the next question I want to ask you, how did you get into the crypto in the first place? And if I'm not mistaken, you're still kind of young, and how long you've been in crypto in general?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm 18 years old. I got into crypto probably about a year ago. Um, I began with trading NFTs, flipping them, getting burned every once in a while. But it's part of the learning curve. And you can't
Yeah.
hit everything right off the bat. And I think I did a lot better than I should have. Looking back at it, like now with all the knowledge I have, I'm like, oh my gosh, I should not have done that. I don't know how that worked out, but yeah, I just flipped NFTs. I was pretty good at it. I started trading stocks at a very young age. So like once I heard that NFTs kind of came around, and once they started to get bigger, I was like, sounds like an NFT, or like a stock almost. So I went with that and started flipping them. I did really well with it. Once I started picking like the little things up, noticing stuff, I got really, really good at it. And I'm a really number oriented person, so I got to a project and I did like the math on how much they were, going to be bringing in. You don't, factor in costs and all that stuff, but at least just what they brought in with gross revenue, and they weren't donating anything to like a charity or anything like that. So that really annoyed me. That's actually why I started an NFT project, um, just from the annoyance of another project not doing
Yeah,
it.
so
So I took it into
show
my own
how it
hands.
can be done correct way, right? I also wanted to ask if you can recall what was the first NFT that you actually bought?
Oh wow, shoot, I don't know. I think the first one I bought, I honestly wouldn't be able to tell you. I think the first one I bought was like, I was like, I'm gonna spend like $25 on an NFT just to kind of like, I didn't know like if, like
To
all the years.
understand what is that, right?
Well, yeah, at first I was like, I don't even know what NFT even means, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna go, buy a big one yet or anything like that. I bought into some bigger projects, but the first one I was like, let's just buy it, see what happens, see how what transact like gas fees. Learned what those were pretty fast. Like I didn't even know any. I would honestly say I really didn't know much about it. Usually I'm a big researcher, but I was kind of like, I'm gonna throw myself into it and see what happens. I did the research along the way as I started figuring stuff out. But yeah, I can't recall the first one. I don't even know if it was from a project, or like a collection. I think it might have literally just been like a one of one artist made something. So
Oh, that's cool. At least you didn't get a bad experience with that, right? Because my first NFT, I gotta tell you, I bought, well, I was looking at the Bored Ape Yacht Club. It's been $200 at the time when I was starting. And I didn't bought it just because I was okay paying for the JPEG, right? $200. I wasn't okay paying for the gas. I was like, who would pay for the gas? That doesn't make sense. So I didn't bought the Bored Ape, but I bought another project on Solana chain that ended up being the rug pull, my first NFT ever bought. And that's been a slow rug pull, not right away, but slow. Over half a year they've been like just spread the gay porn around the Discord, close the Discord channels, and that's it. That's been a sad experience. 40,000 people in the Discord, sold out collection, strong community. Don't know why people doing that, but yeah, that's what's happened in this industry. So how did you heard actually about the NFTs in the first place? Was it like on the social media? Because no, probably TikTok or something in this sort. Can you share a little how the onboarding process was for you?
yeah, so I mean, I'm not a TikTok person, never have. I'm not really even a big social media guy. Growing up, my parents were very strict. I didn't even get a phone until like 2 years ago. Like
Oh
that's
wow.
I was 16 when I got a phone. Like my parents are very strict, which I'm actually really thankful for, just because like the work ethic they kind of forced on us in a sense. Just by you can't be there's no phones, no video games. We still don't have video games. Like we didn't get phones till we were 16, so we were forced to kind of like figure something out outside. So. But yeah, pretty much through Instagram was like seeing all this stuff blow up about like, oh, NFTs to the future, all this, that. And I was like, well, I can see how it's the future. So I kind of like started, I did a little bit of research enough to understand that it actually could be the future. And then from there, I kind of got into NFTs.
Oh, that's cool. And yeah, almost a year you said your NFTs. That's actually a long time. Like year here is, I don't know, a decade in the real world. It
Yeah,
feels
seriously.
like
Yeah, it
one
really
week
does
goes
feel
like
like
a
it.
month, right?
Yeah, I know. I feel like I've been in the space for like 5 years, but literally a year. I would say like going really hard at it. I mean, we've been doing our project for probably 3 4 months. So like, probably I'd say 5 or 6 of them have been like on an absolute grind, like, doing all the research, looking at, more in detail versus before I was just flipping, kind of looking into founders, looking into utility, and that flipping aspect. You didn't really do as much research as you do when you're, project owner.
Well, yeah, it makes sense, even though if you do the research, it not always, gonna lead you to the successful flip. To flipping NFTs, it takes a little more than that. You need to see the community aspect and how they actually building for the people inside of it. Because I've seen the project selling out, they have a utility on the roadmap, and they go back to zero. I've seen it many, many times, and it keep happening. So the good projects are the ones that constantly present here, talking to the community and meeting new people. And pretty much right now, the Twitter Spaces, because I can say it's a bear market. Everybody that
Oh,
we see around all the Twitter Spaces right now is the same faces. It's the same community members, pretty much. It's not the new people. There's like few percent of the new people, and that's it. And right now, you can see the ones who sticks because a lot already dropped out, a lot already just faded, and I'm not sure that ever gonna get back. So, what your overview on the next, like, let's say, 2 years of the NFT industry? Where do you think it's gonna take us in 2 years?
2 years, 2 years. So I think in 2 years, I think we do recover. I don't think it's going to go back up to like 4,000 where it was when I
No,
was.
no, no way.
Yeah, no, like I think we have the potential back to 3,000. I don't think that's hard to reach. I think we can rebound from that. We are taking a shot right now, but there's also been. I think the coin is what's killing us more than anything. Ethereum being low. Why would somebody on board when something's down? Like the percentage it is. So I think the first step would be recovering from that, just kind of getting the coin back up to 3,000 because right now it's scaring a lot of people. Um, but I think in 2 years, I mean, with where things are going with like the virtual reality aspect of things. Um, but I think that in order to get to that step or to that stage with the virtual reality, we need to first onboard a whole lot more people than we do now, because it's a very slim population that actually is in NFTs. So I think the big thing right now is going to be real life utility. So like, maybe like a discount at a store, stuff like that, something that people can relate to that aren't in the space, and that'll actually pull them into the space. You need to relate Web 2 to Web 3 before you can relate, Web 3 to Web 4 and convert all those people. So I think the next big thing is, really people installing like, like Gary Vee with, just for example, because VCon was literally just like a day ago, all those people, if you may like Gary Vee and not even, it wasn't necessarily only for NFTs, but if you wanted to get there, you had to buy an NFT. So how many people do you think he onboarded, that wanted to go to VCon just for Gary Vee, but had no clue what NFTs are, or, whatever, or no interest in them, but now they have to buy one. So it's kind of stuff like that. Like, I think there's a lot of influencers that need to take that step that are going to like really help onboard, the masses. Like, me as a kid, I can't really do much, as a single person, but if you have, like a Steph Curry who had, profile pictures, that's why everything was blowing up, is because all these guys were, these are all their profile pictures. All they talked about was how much they bought them for, and now it's kind of dying off a little bit, and that's why I think it's not growing as much, because there's not as much, spread on it from, like one-on-one relationships with professional athletes.
Well, that's true. And the market now is so much down. It's 5 times less volume than it was like a few months ago. So there's a lot of people left, and a lot of them will never get back because they're scared, and that's okay. That's how the adoption is happening. I agree with you about the real life, and that the people actually got to be meeting more new people in the real life and onboarding to the space. That's how it got to go, and it's just a matter of time till more and more influencers get into that, and then they bring their audience into it. And I'm actually excited to see how it's going to be happening. So the next question I wanted to ask you is to share with us a little bit on the Blind Bunnies and how the idea born. You already said that you sold these NFT projects that don't have a utility to the charities, donation, and etc. You were so super upset with them, so you decided to create something more meaningful. Could you share with us the Blind Bunnies, what you stand for, and the idea of the creation?
Yeah, so pretty much Blind Bunnies, like I said, that's where it kind of originated from. So we went through roughly 25 to 30 charities before we even started art or anything like that, and we kind of just narrowed it down, and we picked the Seba Foundation. They're based in California, and they do surgeries to restore blindness. So they've done over 5 million of them. They got some really cool stuff in the works right now that'll actually speed up that process. But we kind of we went through like almost like an interview phase. Interview one, in a sense, is pretty much we went on and we went on their website, figured out really like the basics about them. That's what narrowed it down to kind of like the 30. We probably looked at 100, we narrowed it down to 30. Okay, these are 30 that we could see ourselves working with. And then we would go, we can then really go through like the about page and, look up stuff, look up the interactions from people on social media, stuff like that. And then be okay. So, they're actually like, people really like this. They like what they got going on. And then, the third step was kind of try to get on the phone with somebody. And that's kind of what we did with about like 15, 20 projects or, foundations or charities. And we set up with the Seba Foundation, like a 30-minute call, and we got on with the, like the VPCO, Director of Finance. And we were like, okay, wow, they're pulling out the big guns, like, and they don't even know, like, if we're going to donate like $100 or if we're going to donate, like a big chunk. And we got on the phone with them, and, it ended up being like an hour and a half on the phone with them. And they were like literally in the process of setting up like a MetaMask wallet for us. So they were like 100% on board with it. They didn't really even understand NFTs. That's like the first, 30 minutes was me trying to explain what an NFT is. And then I was like, we got through that, and they've all been there for a very long time. But, through our project if we sell out, our main thing, which right now I think we're about like 18, 19% sold out. We've been getting screwed with Twitter right now, but 2,000 people get their vision back off primary sales, like roughly. With obviously with the market changing, things change. We roughly donate about 20%. But we plan on continuing to donate to them. Our end goal would be 3,737 people that get their vision back, and then beyond that, Like at 37% sell out, we're gonna be dropping our merch. So like percentage of that will go to that. So we have a lot of different ways that we're gonna incorporate, adding more money to that in the future. This isn't something that's gonna stop, but that's kind of why we started. It's a Seven Foundation. But like I said, we're a collection of 3,737. We'll be donating a lot. I think our slogan really sums it up the best. It's an NFT that changes the world and impacts its community. Those are our two goals. We're changing the world with the Seven Foundation, impacting our community by adding utility. And then I always like to say we like to add two types of value. Value as in education in the space, keeping people safe, figuring out how to onboard more people. We want just mental value, like just teaching people like financial literacy, different stuff like that. And then the other type of value obviously is like money. We want to add value, different types of revenue stream into people's wallets. Like that's what we want our utility to attack is, how can we generate more money to, give back to our holders. So those are our two goals, and that's probably the simplest way to sum up what we're doing.
Wow, that's exciting. And honestly, I love the idea actually curing the blindness. There is not so many people that do that in the NFT industry. That's a unique concept. So I'm really glad that you went this path. I wanted to ask, was it hard actually to get on the first interview with the charities to actually talk and try to explain them what are NFTs and what do you want from them?
Yeah. So the one part I would say was hard was trying to explain it so it made sense. And yeah, because you're talking to a charity, you're like, okay, we want to work with you, and they're like, okay, well, you can work with us, but what are NFTs? And when most people think of NFTs, that aren't on in the space, they think, oh, it's like that art thing you sell, people are buying it for a lot of money, it's a scam, like, and that's kind of what I had to assure them that it wasn't, and like any project can say they're going to donate to them, and then I had to like explain to them that if they start a MetaMask wallet, that I can actually like they're not going to get scammed through it, or all that kind of stuff. So but yeah, it was obviously it's a little difficult. It's all majority older people, so it's like you're not talking to like a 25 35 year old who's on social media all the time. It's older people, so we had to like kind of break it down, and like most people, you got to kind of just dumb it down to like as basic as it can get to try to get them to comprehend what's going on.
Well, yeah, it can be hard actually. I spent so much time explaining to my mom, for example, what NFTs is, and then she eventually got it at the point when I said like, "Hey, imagine like having a special pass, but in the digital format that is unique, and you never gotta lose it, just simply keeping it in your wallet." And then she understood, and then I actually, when I created the collection, I airdropped her one of our NFTs. So she's been the first holder ever created of our NFT collection also. And she asked me then, and what do I do with it? And I'm like, right now, nothing. Just keep it in your wallet. You don't even need to access it. Just keep your seed phrase safe. Never share it with anybody. That's pretty much it. That's just the piece of digital art, and you an owner, and it's all verifiable on the blockchain. And you don't even need to log in to actually see that you are an owner, right? So it's that simple. And then eventually she got it, but still they don't understand how to actually use it. So providing more use cases, as for example, additional utilities, the metaverse passes, the access to the live events, right? Then doing the donations, that all the utilities that NFT can be used for. And also, I wanted to ask you about the metaverses, because I remember you told me that you partner with the Rich Foxes and Travis from the Rich Fox Club. So you got to be integrating the blind bodies and building together some interesting stuff in there. Could you share on that a little bit more?
Yeah, so yeah, I've been friends with Bullish for a very long time. Met him along my journey, kind of just with trading, flipping NFTs and stocks and all that kind of stuff. So we kind of hit it off because that's kind of his background as well. And he recently bought two parcels in the other side metaverse. One that he's going to be built, or I guess he's going to be building on both, but the one that I know about, is kind of going to be the main one. And all of our holders will have access to that. There's going to be it's a 3-tier, so there's going to be like different levels, and depending on how many NFTs you own, and like different types of access passes and stuff like that. So we got some cool stuff going on. We got a nice piece of land. I'm excited to build on it. I don't know much about the metaverse. I kind of like the basics, but I've never done like a deep dive into it and all that kind of stuff. But I have like the general overview of how it works, and we know that it is The future, like I said earlier, it's just going to take time, because we got to convert to Web3 before we can go to Web4. So, I think that's kind of where we're at right now with the whole metaverse thing.
Oh, that's cool, and thank you for sharing. I wanted to ask, have you seen the video from the other side Meta? They put actually out a little sneak peek. There's, if I'm not mistaken, like 30, 40 seconds video that are showing the gameplay, how it's gonna be looking like.
Oh,
Have you seen this one?
I did not see that video. No, not yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you
Oh,
after this interview. I'm
yeah, you
gonna
have to
send it
send
to
me
you
that.
so you
That's
can
awesome.
check it out. Yeah, it looks amazing, honestly. Basically, it's, well, I don't even know Fortnite, but the better graphics and with the ownership integrated in it. That's pretty much what it is. And with the pieces of land floating around where you can jump from one to another, gonna be insane. I'm gonna send you the video so you can see
Yeah,
this
that's
little
freaking
sneak
awesome.
peek. Yeah, and I'm super excited. There is a different metaverses. For example, the Sandbox went a different path with it, so they building a little more optimized in the case of it. Easier to use. You don't need as strong computer because it's like cubes graphics, like in Minecraft in this
Yeah,
sense. But they make it super scalable. They make it fucking huge. Other side meta, I feel, is gonna be smaller, but they utilize Unreal Engine technology to actually build a very nice graphic. So it's not the cubes as in Minecraft. So it's completely
yeah,
different environment that you're going to be feeling yourself in. And then having your NFTs like Bored Apes as a 3D avatars, that's insane. People will go crazy. I don't know. That's just the beginning. But yeah, let's see how it all goes. I'm excited for the metaverse. I don't have a plot of land in any. That's actually another mistake that I made. I knew about the Sandbox land when it's literally just start off with the sales. I didn't bought it because I was like, well, who would own the digital real estate? That doesn't make sense, right? The same way as
yeah.
paying gas fees, right? How many times can I be mistaken? That's just the question I ask myself. But that's okay. So I wanted to ask you, where do you see the Blind Bunnies in the next, like, let's say 2, 3 years? So you plan to add other collections as well, or other items to maybe airdrop to the holders, or a little more on that?
Yeah, so the next thing, so I'm gonna kind of walk through our roadmap and then beyond that. So pretty much, like 25% we release our one of one collection. So we have one of one for our whale holders in pre-whitelist, and then we have our one of one for our our overall collection. So the whales get completely customized one of one. They go to our artist, they talk to him one on one, and they go, this is what I want. This is what I want to look like, and like it literally could be anything you could think of. If you like coffee mugs, you could literally be like, I want a coffee mug upside down with my logo and my face on it on top of my bunny. Like
All
it
right.
literally anything you could think of, we'll do it. And I like to, I always like to make a crazy analogy like that because that's literally what we'll do. We have one guy right now that wants like a mutated bunny, and like I
Yeah,
don't even
why
know.
not?
Yeah, like and I was like, never really thought about that, and it's gonna be hard to draw, but we're gonna figure it out. Like and that's just kind of our mentality behind it is, you believe in our project, obviously, if you will, then, and we want to make sure you get exactly what you want. So that's at 25%. You'll start to see that get released in a separate one of one collection outside of a project. We have a few that already completed, but we're going to keep working, and adding more and more to it. And a cool aspect that we have in our project, we actually have like you could get like a Blind Bunny's hat, and it has a question mark on it. There's a hat with a question mark, eye covering with a question mark, watch with a question mark, and then like a background, right? And pretty much, if you get that, you get to completely customize that one attribute, and you have that added to that one of one collection, even though it's just one attribute that's changed. It still makes it a one of one because it's so we added that little cool aspect that you could go and mint in our project and you still get another one completely, like you can completely customize the watch or some sort of wrist, whatever, like eye covering, like. So I think it's really cool aspect is, we want to make people something that just is unique to them, and I feel like that's kind of what we want is we want people to be connected to it, and I think that's the best way to do it is make it unique to them. So at 25%, that'll drop. 37%, we have our merch line dropping. So we'll have, it's not only merch, we just have it on there as merch, but we'll have a merch line dropping where you can actually just get like, our new logo, Blind Bunnies on it. And you can also get customized. So you just go in, you'll put, your wallet, you'll sign in with your wallet address, like through a MetaMask link. Um, and you'll put like what number you want, and we will literally put it on a shirt for you. Your exact bunny. We're gonna have obviously like the generic kind, but we're gonna have that as well. And then we're also doing trading cards. So you get like a trading card. We'll do pictures. Like you can frame out a picture with your bunny on it. It'll get sent to you. Like different stuff like that. We want to add that IRL kind of aspect to our project. And then at 50%, we're going to be dropping our serum. So we have a carrot serum that we're going to be dropping. There's not really much out on it yet. Pre-whitelist holders will get it free. And then public, we're going to be doing, contests, maybe like Discord hitting a certain, activity or like different types of contests. And then we'll also be doing like an auction, on a weekly basis. And the serum is pretty much going to give your bunny its eyes back. So you'll be able to remove the covering. It'll be another collection. So we'll actually have 3 collections within this one. The main collection, and then we're going to have the one of one, and then the third one is going to be for the whole point of the parallel that we're pulling is, Web3, you go and buy a bunny and you get the serum, you get their eyes back. If you go and buy a bunny in real life, one of our bunnies, you're actually giving somebody their eyes in real life. So, the SEBA Foundation is the serum in a sense, that is the carrot serum for us. And so what we're going to do is, you're going to literally get eyes, and it's going to, generate, and they're not going to be like brown eyes, blue eyes, anything like that. They're going to be like fire, ice, diamond, lava, different types of elements, because another parallel we like to have is, when somebody goes and they don't see anything their whole life, everything's pitch black their whole life. Or very blurry, right? And then you get your eyes back, and you can get your vision back, and you start seeing things for the first time. Your eyes aren't just normal eyes; they're precious to you. They're priceless, right? And that's kind of the parallel that we want to make is, these people are getting their vision back. Like it's not like, we're just helping them. We're getting them glasses so they can see a little bit clearer. These people are getting surgery to have their vision restored, and to them that's it's life changing, and that's what we wanted to do is. We want to add an aspect where you can get your bunny with eyes, and just when it reveals, it's not like you're like, oh, I got brown eyes, great, awesome, no rarity or anything like that. We're going to make them absolutely insane and really cool. And we're excited for that. So, we're excited for that serum drop to come. I think that'll be a big aspect. It'll help us with the push as well, because I think once people start seeing, like diamond or fire eyes, it's going to be awesome. And then kind of going forward in the future, around like 75%, we don't have a utility stapled down yet. We are going to, towards the end there, we kind of want to like start it before we, sell out. But we don't, with how much the times are changing, you don't know what people are going to want. And, let's say it's a month until we sell out, or, even like 6 months, like, things are going to change throughout that time. We don't want to staple something down. We want our community, once we hit 75%, we're going to have a whole bunch of people there that can kind of go, hey, this is what we would like to have, and we'll kind of break it down through that. But beyond that, so after sellout, our plan is to do a Gen 2. We kind of already have, I wouldn't say we're working on it, but we've got like, a little sneak peek of what it's going to kind of look like. We're using Blender. We're going 100% 3D realistic. So these bunnies are going to it's going to look like real fur. Like it's going to be sick. It's going to be a lot of the similar stuff to the first one, but it's just going to be completely 3D. Our holders will have whitelist access to that automatically at an extremely cheap rate. So those are the kind of things going forward in the future that we're looking to do. But our focus isn't on that. Our focus is on selling this project out, and really handling the utility aspect before we even start a Gen 2. So like we want this to be very established. We already have we've been talking about potentially doing an Airbnb to generate revenue on a consistent basis. But if we end up heading that route, which a lot of people like that, we're still early on in the process, but we would end up trying to grow that into multiple houses, generating multiple revenue streams to end up giving back. So until something like that is established, or some sort of passive income is established, we won't be going forward into Gen 2. You can't get to Gen 2 without finishing Gen 1 completely and making sure that it's 100% sustainable and self-sustainable in the sense. So that's kind of like the future coming up here. We also work with Webmin, and this is kind of going back to our merch line. So depending on how many you own, you actually get discounts on the merch and different stuff like that. That's something that they're setting up right now. So you'll get for, let's say you hold, your whale status, you'll get a bigger percentage versus if you're like a tier 2, it's just like, less holding, or tier 1, we do it in tiers. So we got some really cool stuff coming up here in the future. Our biggest thing is just stapling down our Twitter account finally.
Well, yeah, can you say a little bit what's up with your Twitter? Like, I know you explained to me, but in general, to the audience, everybody who is
Yeah.
watching, like, what's happened there?
Yeah, so our Twitter, we had it up for about 3 months. Had about 6,000 followers. Ran a mega space. Um, I'm a big theory guy here. We ran our first mega space right after an update came out. It was the first one we hosted, and it got shut down. We got suspended. Literally on the space, we got suspended. They gave us
Wow.
like 4 reasons, all ridiculous. It was like aggressive following, cross manipulating through 2 accounts, or something like that. Which they just pretty much said is you're using similar links between 2 accounts, which is my personal. It's like you having Victor and also having Stone Tigers to
Yeah,
do the
like,
same thing,
what's
but
wrong?
all the time. So confused there too. I forget what the other two were. They were both ridiculous. I've been talking to so many people. They're like, I don't even know what that means. I'm like, neither do we. That's awesome. So we ended up starting another account, which apparently violated another rule. They said that we weren't supposed to start another account until the appeal process was finished, but they said it could take like 35 days. I'm like, well, we run a business, like a legit business, through our Twitter. We can't just sit here and wait for 35 days. So we started another account, and that was up for about a week. We got up to like 1,100 followers in like a week, so we're making good progress. Held our first space on that account that we hosted, got shut down right after we closed it. So I don't know if it's the spaces or shutting something off, or if it's IP related. So that's what we think it is. Because we started the appeal process for that one. They gave us the same exact reasons for getting shut down. So I was like, okay, maybe it's tracked through a phone number or something like that. Maybe a device. I have no clue. So we started this new one through a different phone number, different email, all that stuff. Completely different. Like on the device, it's a different. We set up a different Apple iCloud, literally just because like, okay, if it's anything, like we got to do as much as we can. We changed our profile picture, all that stuff, in hopes that it wouldn't rug us. So we'll see. We got a space on Monday. We'll see if it's us hosting the space that's going to set something off. But right now I think we're almost at 1,000 followers. We started yesterday. We had a big mega stage last night with Brando from the Apes. So we're very close with him, and we got our following bump in yesterday.
Yeah, I was there as well. I was vibing. So the next mega space you're going to be hosted is on Monday. So can you explain what's happening on this mega spaces for somebody that maybe doesn't know yet? I don't know how is it possible that you don't know yet, but in case somebody new watching and not aware yet.
Yeah. Yeah, so we run a Mega Space Monday. We run it every single Monday. We started it one time kind of as like we actually just were holding a big space with like a bunch of people, like with my guy Brando. I'm very close to him, Bullish, all those, some big name guys that I'm really good friends with. And we were just like, I was like, yeah, let's just like throw a huge space with everybody. I always like to say, I like to take credit for it. I was kind of like the first Mega Space holder. In a sense, it's kind of like the group that's there now. It's like something that Brando, now he runs it way bigger than I do. But I kind of was like, let's just get like a whole bunch of people together. Usually it's like, bunnies and apes, and it's just one-on-one, and they pull together. It's like, oh, it's a big space. But we decided I was like, we're going to bring a huge group of people together. These people that aren't used to shilling because they're either like holding their own mega spaces, or they don't really take the time to go into like these one-of-one artist spaces. So I was like, okay, well, let's do one for big projects. So we held it, and it just happened to be on a Monday. No reason why it was on a Monday, and I just was like, I gotta think of a title. It's gotta be catchy. And I was like, Mega Space Monday. That's freaking awesome. I was like, let's go with it. So I posted it up. And we pulled like 400 people on the first night without really doing much. Like I planned it like 2 days before. And then the next week I was like, yo, let's run Mega Space Monday again. And I got more projects, and we ended up having like 25 projects. We hit like 500 people. I'm like, oh shoot. Like, so then we continued to run it. It's pretty much just like 25, 30 of the biggest projects, with and the thing is, all these spaces, like I personally have checked every project. So like we brought one new project on. I had a phone call with them to like give me the breakdown, what you're doing, where's money going, like percentage wise and stuff like that, just to literally figure out, because if I'm bringing our audiences and 25 other people's audiences in, I need to make sure that this one dude is doing his job and isn't going to rug pull or anything like that. And you can't prevent all of that. People change their minds in a day, but you know, it's avoiding the little stupid stuff. You know, promoting somebody that might be iffy. You know, we don't really even mess with like that. We try to keep it as strict as possible because you know we're bringing a lot of people in. We've got up to like 600 people. The one space we had, I think 5,500 people come through the whole thing, which is crazy. Like Brando's last night had like 4,400, which is crazy. Like, you know, we run them a little bit longer than him, but like to think that many people are going through is crazy. But yeah, Makerspace Mondays are just big platforms to pretty much talk about your project, and we run it longer, so we get one-on-one artists or projects that we don't know about start to come up after we get through our featured projects. So I think it's really cool. We run it every single Monday. So EST time we run it either 7 or 9, depending on how many projects we have. You know, we start a little earlier.
I believe it's like 1 or 2 at night for me that you
You
started,
always
and I
get
always
stuff
there.
like
You've
that.
noticed, right? I'm constantly there.
Yeah, you're always there, and I get like a message, and he's like, "Yo, it's like 4 a.m." I'm like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah, yesterday I went to sleep at 7. Like I had no choice. I've been waiting all this time. Well, I mean, I know there's been a huge line of the
Yeah.
people, and it took time, but yeah, I tried to at least sleep today 5 hours, so I've been more or less fresh for today's interview. Yeah, and anyways, I'd love to join at the next Monday as well. Wait a
Yeah,
second, I'm gonna
absolutely.
check.
Just shoot me a DM. I'll get you on. We can get you on the banner, all that kind of stuff.
Oh man, you just know already right away that I'm absolutely on it. I'm
Oh
more
yeah,
than
man. We
happy to join there.
this week we actually have something cool. If you're on Space last night, you heard it, but just for anybody in the audience, we actually have um, a project that reached out and they're like, "Yo, like, can we get on the Space?" I was like, "Sure." You know, to make sure you have a giveaway. They're like, "Well, we actually have a pretty cool one." I was like, "Okay, let me hear it." And they're like, "We'll give away an NFT." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And they're like, "Well, we're gonna attach a physical painting to it." And I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And they're like, "Well, this piece of art, selling for around like $18,000." And I was like, "You're just gonna give it away on the Space?" I'm like, "Yep." They're like, "Yeah, we have a whole bunch of them. They were donated to us. They're like, it's part of a collection. You know." He's like, "Check out the collection." And I was like, "No, I actually am. I'm gonna like look through." um, every other piece is selling for like $20,000, $25,000. So it might actually be more than that. I just went with 18 because I'm like, well, let's just keep it on the bottom side. That's what like the smallest one sells for. So
Yeah, I saw this one. That's insane. And
yeah,
how
it's
did they found
yeah,
like?
yeah. I mean, they're literally giving away. So we're gonna have a huge space. I think. I mean, we started. I made this space. Like I always set the reminder like a week before, and we're at like 250 people already planning to come. So we'll probably hit around like 500-600 people. Because we always have, we have, if you're coming to it, you post a giveaway, attached to it and say, join the space. And then you give away that, and, you give away your prize on the space. So there's a lot of prizes. We'll literally probably hit, with that project, I know it's 18 of it, but we'll probably hit around like $25,000-$30,000 in prizes
That's insane.
by the time we log off. It's
That's
crazy.
insane. Like every single night, every of those mega spaces, we're giving away tens of thousands of dollars of NFTs, like different projects, and in Ethereum directly as well. And that's crazy. Now,
Yeah, I
even the
think last
physical
night
pieces of art.
we had like 5 or 6 thousand in Brando's space that was cash, like or Ethereum that
Yeah,
was given out on top of, like NFTs. Like we gave an NFT away. We also gave away $500. Abducting aliens or abducting MFers. They gave away, I think, like literally like $3,000 last night. The last space they gave away like six, or last space they gave away 12 in one space, 12 grand they gave away.
wow.
So I guess I mean it's just, it's crazy what when you bring all these people together, what ends up happening and how many people you really do have a good chance of winning. You think like there's 1,000 people, but there's probably like 100 200 prizes by the end of the night. You run through all these projects, you're giving away multiple NFTs. It's actually statistically a pretty good chance of winning if you stay through the whole thing.
Well, I tried to win all this time, and honestly, I haven't won even once. I've been retweeting and liking and commenting every single thing, but I know that's the matter of like. There's still, the random is there, and there is
Yeah.
hundreds of people participating. So
Man,
it
dude,
takes
we
time, and
actually through some of the giveaways, like last night, we gave one away, and we did like the Twitter picker, and it ended up literally being like somebody that was like one of the first buyers in our collection, like that we haven't heard from in a while, or like it was crazy. Like we've actually, I think out of like the 5 we've given away, like the prizes, I think like 3 or 4 have been from our collection. Like it's just I don't know what it
wow.
is, but the Twitter picker is just all for us, man. It's been helping us out because I love giving back to our community, but like at the same time, like I want to give to other people, but like the fact that our community or somebody that I know is winning, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's much more warming your heart, I'd say. I know this feeling as well. I love when our community wins as well,
Yeah,
and that's a cool feeling, and the people making not just money, but they are expanding their wallets. Let's say this way, they're
yeah,
getting new reach, they're getting into new communities, and a lot of them say, "Hey, not gotta sell this NFTs. Doesn't matter whatever it costs. We just not gotta do that. We're here for this vibe. We want to collect more, and maybe give away something later." That's also a cool thing. The community eventually start to give away pieces, and that's like the new wall that keeps rolling and getting bigger.
yeah. So that's what we have is the majority of the like blind bunnies that you see getting given out are actually from our community. Like those are just people that are like, yo, like I'll get a text on a space and they'll be like, yo, he's like, here's an NFT, give it, number 458. He's like, I'm giving it away, give it away on the space. And I'm like, dude, what? Like we've had some people that literally give away like 10 NFTs from their collection. It's
Wow.
crazy. That's one thing about our community is we're very strong and like they're dedicated just to getting more people and they're like, let's just give away they're like, give away my NFT, we'll get more people. And I'm like, okay, whatever you want, man. Like, we have a very good community. We gotta get our Twitter back up and going. That's been killing us these past few weeks. It literally, I mean, we got shut down at like right after we revealed. So like we were at like 10%. We revealed, and we got screwed. Just went from 6,000 to zero. And then we had to explain to people why we got shut down. And then we get our count back up, and then it gets shut down again, and you got to explain that again. Um, yeah, it takes a toll on mints and stuff like that. We've actually still minted like almost like 9% even while being in this battle with Twitter. So we still have a lot of support, but it'd be a lot easier if we had our account just
Yeah,
normal.
absolutely. Of course. That's the visibility. The people like worrying, hey, what's happening with there? Are they like getting their account down or what? Like, I understand, but it's nice where you have a Discord, and the community is still able to live and still safe and know what's up. And
Yeah,
that's the plus is having more than one social media. And that's crazy. I really don't understand the logic behind Twitter. I think they're trying to just get rid of the bots and harming themselves, harming the users. The people start to complain. I don't know, but they want to sell it. They got to do whatever it takes as well.
yeah.
It's
Like I
it's a
understand
business.
like the safety aspect of it, trying to have a bot like get these people out, but you also have to like here's my issue with it. I don't think suspending us is a problem. I don't you suspended us, okay. But the appeal process, it goes right to you're getting an answer from a bot. Like it's an automated response. Like if you're gonna appeal, like if you're gonna actually try to get rid of people, you need to also have somebody that's like an actual person answer. When somebody submits an appeal, like you need to have somebody that can actually answer versus a bot that just continues to give you the same automated response. There's almost no point in submitting an appeal at that point because you're not really talking to anybody. So that's the issue that I ran into. I don't see anything wrong with having a bot kind of track people. I don't think it should go right to permanent. I don't know why it does for us. They must really just think that we're like bots or something. So um, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get going. I think we fixed it with what we're doing now. Um, you know we'll see what happens coming up here. We'll see what happens during our mega space. If we get shut down again, we got to restart. But
No, I
um,
hope no, man. I hope
yeah,
no.
I hope so too.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster for you there. Well, anyways, you would love to join as well in your mega space. You know what? I'm gonna give away my personal NFT from my personal collection. Fuck it. I'm gonna give my personal one. I really
Let's
love this
go.
collection. I've given away only one. Actually, I've given away to the Travis. I'm gonna give another one there. Let's do that.
Let's
And
go.
I wanted to ask you any advice you would love to give to the people that maybe just starting out with the NFT journey as a creators, as a collectors, anything you would suggest them?
Yeah, I'm a big person on founders. If you're looking to buy into a project, make sure you do the research on the founder. And you might be like, oh, how do I do research on the founder? Number one, you ask people in the community. Majority of the time they're going to be supporters, obviously. But you can also tell it to the extent that they respond to you. If it's versus like, oh, he's good, versus he's a really good guy. He does everything he's supposed to. He just goes above and beyond. You can tell by the extent of the answer. And number two, I think that, it's like Victor, like if you're the founder and I'm a person in the community and I DM you and I go, hey, I'm looking at your project, I could do research directly from you. Like your founder should, if you're looking to buy into a project, should be reachable. And I think that's a big factor because if he's not reachable, there's usually priority somewhere else. And he's not really about his community, in my opinion. Like even like Bullish, like those guys. I mean, don't expect an answer right away. They got a lot of stuff going on, but they'll get back to you. And founders should make sure he's answering your questions, stuff like that. It should be in the Discord. Like if you should go to a project, and you're like, oh, it seems like a good project. The founder is distant. It's almost a red flag for me. I would say. And the reason I'm big on founders is because who rug pulls a project? Usually the founder. And you might be like, well, they have really great utility. Who actually makes the utility come true? The founder. Anybody can go in a space and go, we're going to get you $300 a month every month. All you have to do is buy this NFT, and you don't got to worry about anything else. We're also going to, you're going to get IRL stuff. You're going to get free merch, all this stuff. Anybody can pitch a project that, and say there's all this stuff to it, but it's whether or not the founder can actually fulfill those. So you need to figure out who the founder is first, because utility means nothing if the founder is horrible, isn't the dude you think he is or woman that they say they are. So I'm always huge on founders. That'd be my number one advice: is do your research on the founder. The project is nothing without the founder. They could easily rug pull it. Even if you think, oh well, logistically on a sheet of paper, this looks like it could have a good ROI. The founder's the one that's going to screw you over, in my opinion. So I'd say do your research on that. The founder brings in team members. If the team members are crap, it's on the founder. But if it's a good founder, he's going to bring in good people. So I think it all goes back to the founder.
That's actually building the team. That a question a lot of people are going to be asking. How do I build a good team? Well, I would say the organic team is the best way, because eventually there's going to be the community members that will want to become a team, right? I don't know if it happened the same way with you. Let's say in the Discord, they want to become a mods and etc. Just because they've been vibing since day one, right? That's how it happened with us and with our project. We've got a quiet number of people in our team, and I don't pay anybody of them simply because I don't have capital. It's not a secret. I started from scratch. I didn't have anything. And we built the community, the real community that is here. We didn't build hype. We didn't sell out. It's been over a month. It's been, we started at 20th April, right? There is only 74, I believe, been minted by the community. The rest was minted by us and given away to the people that really wanted to be a part of it. That's not the fast mint. But what we've built is a family of the people that really want to be a part of it. The team that really cares, that want to be in it, for the long run.
That's honestly what we've, what we're running into now. When we started this, it was just me. I did everything. We actually recently hired a full-time dev, because I think it's very important to have. And a lot of stuff gets handled by OneMint anyways. There's a good partnership with them. But we don't have any paid mods or anything like that. We have I would say on a weekly basis 4 or 5 people that are like, yo, like if you ever need a mod, like just let me know. And they'll reach out like we have one guy, he's actually a project owner, but he's in a project, owns a whole bunch. He's like, yo dude, he's like, I want to be a mod. Don't pay me. I just want to be a mod. And I'm like, okay, I'll make you a mod, man. And I'm actually, fun fact, I'm actually getting married soon. So a lot of those people are like, have literally reached out to me like, yo, when you're on your honeymoon, just make me a mod. Like you can make me mod for a week. He's like, I'll handle all this stuff so you don't have to. Like literally like 3, 4 people. And it wasn't like they were like on a group chat. It was like they each reached out and were like, hey, I know you're going on honeymoon. If you need me to do anything, let me know. If you need to make me a mod, anything like that. Just crazy. Like if you just build a strong community, you're building it. You're actually what you're doing. You're building a huge team of, like right now, I'd say if you go on our Discord, it's the same 20, 30 people that are gonna like answer all your questions, even though they're not mods. They're gonna push you to mint. Like all those people, we've created a team of 20 plus people. Like it's crazy. So we really do already have like 20 mods.
Wow, that's crazy. We don't have that much, but I feel we don't need to. We have like junior moderators and then the community leaders and one moderator, and that's pretty much enough because
Oh yeah,
you know,
we have four mods, but I'm saying like our community is mods technically. Like they answer
yeah,
like they do
basically
the
that's
same
what's
role
up.
even though they don't have the actual
Exactly.
role. They're answering questions. They're pushing people like to mint or any questions about me as a founder. They're going and answering. Like they're serving as mods even though they don't have that role. It's like that's what I was saying is like we pretty much have 20 mods because they
Yeah.
just answer like your community becomes a mod as a whole. They answer questions. They do all the stuff that a mod is quote unquote called to do. So that's what I was saying is we don't have 20 just because you shouldn't have that many. That's the
But
majority
yeah,
of
I feel
projects
you.
you find that out is their community is answering questions anyways. You don't even need mods.
Eventually it starts to be the community going around the spaces as well and sharing your project. That's what our community does sometimes. There is like Emil, for example. He's constantly going to the Russian community and pitching us, constantly rocking with our PFP, a couple other people. And I love that. Then some of them, did the art in the real world as well. I didn't share as much because it was already quite a while, but there is a graffiti made with us in Russia with the Stone Tigers. There is also in the New York rabbit artwork living there. There's actually another video on the YouTube. I will link it in the next video to watch so the people can see where he literally went around the New York. He lives in Brooklyn and put the posters with his art and Stone Tigers with a QR code around the city. That's cool. Just people enjoy doing that. Another one went in the university and created a project talking about the business and etc. About our NFT project, about Stone Tigers. Literally, he utilized our memes in his presentation. His presentation is 70% memes. There is the proof I can show. Like I'm not bullshitting for real. The
Yeah,
people getting crazy with it, and still we're not getting traction. But I believe the time is different. Now I see that people pouring money into the marketing and selling out crap projects, and they go to nowhere after. I don't know. It's sad to see, but it's keep
yeah. If
happening.
you
People speak about Docs founders, it doesn't help.
Yeah, if you're building quick, it's usually for money. Like with the exception, like Brando is one of the guys that I would say with Ape Strong, Ape Together Strong. He has handled the hype, very well because a lot of projects get that hype and they sell out and they can't like in 2 weeks and then they crash. And he's not like he's figured out how to handle that very well. So like that's something that that's why we do what we do and we built so slow is because there's a reason that we're gonna have it's just gonna grow. It's gonna be we want our graphs to look like this, like not this and then shoot
Yeah,
down.
not
And then
not the
we have to
opposite
build up from the
side. Yeah,
ground.
exactly.
We just want a continuous slow growth. That's what we're looking to do in the future here.
Absolutely, and I'm up for it. I don't have yet the blind bunny. I think it's just simply because I cannot afford myself right now. But I will get one as soon as I can. If you're minted out at this time, I will get on the secondary. I'm telling you, no worry there. Just saying, but yeah, that's an awesome community that you're building. Not a project, but a community. I know the business side, of course, but community first, family first, and you're really taking care of
Absolutely.
these people. I appreciate it a lot. It's been 53 minutes of the interview. How do you feel, my friend? Did we cover
Awesome, man. I
everything?
love talking NFTs. It feels like it's been 5 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to add something from yourself, from your heart to the audience before we go?
I mean, just I would say the biggest thing for me is just impact people. You don't realize, like the effect that you have on people. Um, God has gifted me with a platform to play, Division 1 football. But like I always tell people like there's a whole bunch of 10, 12-year-old kids that are coming to my first football game. Then I'm buying them tickets to the game. To me, it's like what's a little bit of money, and to these kids, it's like their whole world. And I don't personally know them or anything like that. They just like reached out, and to me, it's like, well, what is it? What does it
Emotions are
matter to me?
priceless, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like but to them, it's everything. So just like being able to make that impact, giving somebody an NFT might literally change their life. Like it's crazy what you can do in this space, and you don't even have to like know somebody. So just make an impact when you can.
Absolutely. Thank you once again, Tanner, for sharing with us. Thank you for joining us today. I will post it also on the Twitter as soon as I done with a little bit of editing if it's needed. If it's not, I will just put it right away out. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. Thank you for watching. Comment down below your thoughts, your opinions. Go follow Tanner. I'm going to leave all the links down below as well to go meet the bunny, to the website, to the Twitter, to every single thing you need to know is going to be down below there. And I'm going to ping the next video to the rabbit that put the artworks around the New York and the Brooklyn so everybody can see as well. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. And I'm finishing up a stream. I see you on the spaces.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you for having us on.
Thank you. Peace, everybody.
See ya, man.